Welcome to, do you realize, episode 25 of Thoughtify? We are at a quarter of a century for episodes.
Yeah.
This is a big time episode right here, and it's going to be the best one yet, and it's going to just blow all your socks off. And if your socks don't get blown off, then that's a you problem, honestly,
dumb
and you
socks.
need to check yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is a you
You should
problem.
get new socks if they just get blown off like that, honestly.
Take that back to the pond, you silly goose.
Exactly what he said. I can't follow up from that.
But yeah, we're back. Sorry for the hiatus. With the attention that comes with running a podcast, I mean, sometimes you've got to try to get back to a normal life. And, you know, we just want to be normal people. We don't want to be as famous as we are. We don't want people constantly walking up and asking us, hey, can you sign my baby? Or, will you marry me? It's like, no.
Shake hands. Shake babies, kiss hands.
We don't want to do all that all the time. So sometimes we have to just taper off and,
seclude ourselves.
Yeah, just like feel normal again. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's been happening way too much. As great as it was to start, I'm just like, man, we got to taper this back because it's getting a little old.
Yeah. So that is why this will be the last episode. Thought an odd 25 would be a good number to end it on. And, it was a lot of work. I wouldn't consider it particularly fun, but we appreciate all the views, and I hope you guys, look us up in our next endeavor.
Yep. Good luck never listening to us again.
Yeah. Good luck.
You live with that. That's on you.
This is your fault.
You pushed us to this. You made us quit.
Yeah, but what's been going on, man? How's the past? We usually kind of wait till about 30 minutes in to ask that question, but once
from the first couple tangents we get off on, we're like, by the way, how's life?
Right. So talk to me, man. Talk to the audience. Talk to your fans. Tell them what's been going on.
Oh, the audience. I'm trying to think. Work-wise, things are going well. It's getting ready to pick up aggressively. We have three contracts that are getting ready to kick off, one of which already did. One we have the notice to proceed on, and then another one I think is starting at the end of this month. So we went from kind of tapered, status quo, steady flowing to things are about to get nuts. One of which is actually a massive contract. I can talk about it now because it's out there and we've already taken over. But with the city of Fort Worth, we took over a massive emergency contract for them that started Friday at midnight. So it's pretty much a 24/7 operation. We have to have guys on site at the facility all the time. So that is a huge project. Previous company did not do a good job, and we're coming in to take over. So it's going to be all hands on deck work-wise. I'm not going to say the other stuff, the other opportunity. Just
you have another opportunity?
No.
Dive into it, Thad. Let's talk about it.
I'm kidding,
but you can't do that to people. You can't bring something up and then go I'm not going to talk about it though. This is a podcast. This is where we talk.
If or when it happens.
Yeah, for sure.
We'll talk.
Yeah, I've got great way to be ambiguous. Killing
yes.
Me. But
we can neither confirm nor deny.
No one even knows what we're confirming or denying.
Exactly.
Either way, it will come out here in the next couple podcasts, and it's probably not even going to, it's going to be the most exciting thing that happens to you during the week whenever it does happen. And if that is the most exciting thing that happens to you during the week, you need to get out more often because it's not crazy news. But
yeah, you're not wrong.
We got to avoid talking about work when we ask each other that question. Because we're like, yeah, we got some new contracts and, work's going pretty well.
Yep.
I don't want to talk. Gosh, dude, tomorrow's Monday. We're doing this one on a Sunday.
Oh my gosh.
Tomorrow's bright and early. We're getting up and we're going right back at it. But
it's one of those things we know Monday is coming. We know Monday is tomorrow. But just the thought of it, like when you just said that, I'm like, I knew that, but it's still just, it hits different when you just realize it on a different level.
Yeah.
It's like, but then you try not to think about it until someone brings it up. And then when someone does, you're just like,
What's your
Why'd you do that?
problem? What's your
Why are you the
problem?
way you are? Why are you the way
Just
you
like
are?
every time we're on vacation, your mom always
Oh my
like
gosh. Yeah.
the day where like we get there, she's like, "Oh, we're gonna have to go home at some point," and I'm like, "Stop it!"
And she's like, enjoy it.
She
Enjoy
always
it
does.
now. Just like, no. I'm trying to
It's like
trying to enjoy it.
it's like a nightmare where they're like, "Hey, you better enjoy it. It's slipping away slowly."
And we'll hit the halfway point and we
She
still
brings
have
it
all
up
this time
every
left.
time.
And she's like, over halfway
Yeah,
done.
and you're just like, "Come on."
And like we'll have like 3 days left on vacation, and she'll be like, 3 more days and we're flying home.
With 3 days left, we're pretty much mentally home already. We're like not even
Yeah.
enjoying the beach anymore. And she's just
We're already thinking of packing, and it's just
she's right there to be like, and then on the last day is the worst. She's like, tomorrow we'll be back in Texas. Last day at the beach.
oh.
It's like a constant topic all day. Every time you eat, every time you do anything past that point, you're just like, this is my last whatever I'm doing here in Florida.
Oh my gosh. We'll talk about that in a second, but real quick, how's your life going? How's the week? How's the time? How's all of it?
Man, I feel like life is like a roulette table of good and bad. Like there's days that I'm just like, I love my life. I have the best life ever. And then there's days where I'm like, I want to be like a little tucked away little cat in a corner that no one can see because God, that was the gayest way I could describe that.
It really was. I was like,
Yeah. Well,
not your best. That's okay.
Yeah. Listen,
I'm not going to cut that out either.
last night was quite a night. And we'll get into that here in a second. But no, man, I mean, just like I love Fort Worth. I love living here, and it's just it's a fun place to be, a fun place to go out. So I guess instead of actually telling you how I'm doing, I just want to talk about last night. So I'm just going to go directly into that.
That's fair. Yeah. I mean, I was pretty vague with how, I was like, work. Yeah, man. It's just like, yeah.
But dude,
so I get it.
So last night, and this, I mean, I don't know if you'll think it's interesting, but I just, this is like one of my favorite weekends to have is when everyone's busy and it's just, I have no plans and no one has invited me to do anything. God, I love that part so much.
Saturdays to yourself.
Oh man, I love it so much because I do really well just going to bars by myself and just seeing what happens. Like the night always gets interesting as heck. And I went out last night and I started at a little bar called the Winchester. Super cool bar in Fort Worth. It's like an underground bar. Like you're walking and like you literally can look down into it from the street level. It's under a really tall building, which is super cool. And yeah, dude, we got to go sometime. Super cool place. And I went there, and then the bartender was like, "It's my birthday," and she was essentially like, "You should stick around and drink here." And I was like, "Oh, no." So I left, and then I was walking to that bar, to anywhere else, and I was just walking, and then I passed a really cool cigar bar, and I was like, I haven't been in a cigar bar in a long time. So I went in there, met a couple of ladies at the bar who tried to interrupt me, and were swiftly reprimanded because of it. No,
yeah.
No, but it was this lady started prophesying over me at the bar. Like I told you, like my night gets
really.
Yeah, you didn't hear that at the table this morning, dude?
No.
Yeah, you don't listen to anything I say.
I was busy playing with. I was about to say his name.
Baby.
With my nephew.
Yes, his nephew. That's a person. I mean, we're
trying to get better.
We're acting like the 14 people who listen to our episode. One of them's gonna be like,
but watch this episode somehow just blow up. And we'd be like,
yeah,
cool.
But no, it was so yeah. I went in there and just man, sat at the bar, and I love like if I just sit in one place long enough, people will start talking to me. I just have something on my face that says, "I want you to talk
to me,"
which in reality, for the most part, I don't. If you ever see me out in public, actually, I'm very talkative, but in terms of small talk is what I hate small talk with a passion. It's like, how have you been? You don't care. Be quiet.
Yeah. What Keegan doesn't know, audience, is that we tattooed an invisible ink talk to me on his forehead.
You see that
That
falls
is
through because it's invisible.
nope,
No one
nope.
can
I'm
see
not
it.
done. I'm not done yet.
Okay.
So whenever you go into bars and like we've coordinated with all the bars around the Metroplex, and whenever you go in, it like highlights your forehead. That way everyone knows they have to go talk to you. So that's why everyone's talking to you.
Yeah. All that for that.
So, yep, it was worth it. Totally worth it.
I hope someone laughs. But yeah, so I was sitting there at the bar, had a freaking great old fashioned, dude. Something about an old fashioned when it's made quickly, but like it hits the spot, and you're just like, dude, that you did a great job. I stopped the bartender and I was like, hey, this is a great old fashioned. He was like, yeah, that's our old fashioned. I was like, yeah, I bought it here, I know. And he was like,
I'm having it right now.
is it yours? I'm so sorry. And he was like, yeah, it's our signature drink. And he's like, I can make them in my sleep now. And I was like, you're an alcoholic. I swiftly was kicked out of the bar. No. And then I was sitting there I was trying to take a really dumb selfie because I was texting with a lady friend, and I was just like, the conversation's dying down. So I'm like, I'm going to send a picture of me at the bar, like, because I'm having a fun time. And she was out with her friends. And as I'm doing this, these two Hispanic ladies right next to me are like, let's get his photo. I was like, no, but
You're gonna ruin this for me. Oh,
but yeah, so hung out with them, and then one of them was like really trying to like, she was like trying to get after me, and then she was like my boyfriend, and I was like, you're a horrible person. She's like, it's fine, he cheated on me. I'm like, not solid logic.
so perfectly justified to do it right back to him.
Yes, 100%.
Nice.
I mean, at
Makes
that point, you might as well
total
just
sense.
break up. And then she was like telling me, she was like, if I were to ever be with you, you'd have to take care of me. You take me shopping. And I was like, we're never going to be together.
What?
Like, we're never, I promise you that. Like, I know for a fact we will never be together because I hate stores anyways. And even if I make it to the point where I can afford to let it, have my wife go shopping for fun, I'm not going to be there. Yeah. So
You say that now. I guarantee you will end up going.
That's going to be my stake in the ground is like I'm going to, oh man, I thought my necklace was gone for a second. But then I left there and I went into like a little convenience shop, and I hear like club music, like, what was it? Walk it out, I'll walk it out, I'll walk it out, I'll walk it out, I'll walk it out. He said, walk it out.
He said, walk it out.
So walk it out. Yeah. So it was that song. And I was like, do you guys hear that? And they're like, yeah, we all have ears too. We also hear this music. And I was like, where is that? Is that like are you guys banging it out in the back or what's going on? And they're like, no, it's kind of like it's definitely more clubbish, but it's a bar still, like I wouldn't consider it a club, but it's definitely more of a club than a bar. But I was there, and it's called Curfew in downtown Fort Worth. Couldn't take you there this morning, but I found it last night, and I just started dancing by myself.
Nice.
I'm not kidding. Like, it was just like really good rap music, and I was just like, I'm just gonna start dancing by myself and see what happens. I'm just like sitting there vibing hard. Met this other like 34-year-old dude who was also out by himself.
Were you dancing with him too?
He progressively got weirder, but. And the first thing he walks up and he starts talking to me. I was like, dude, I want to say I'm not gay. Like, because
you said that
100%, dude. Like, I'm the only guy at the like, there's plenty of beautiful women around to go talk to. I'm sitting there dancing by myself, just like vibing out, and this dude walks up and just starts talking directly to me. Getting like telling me like, just giving me compliments, and I'm just like immediately I'm just like, hey, just in case, brother, I'm not gay. Like, you're not, because he was like trying to I didn't say I'm not gay. He kept talking, and I was like, you're not gay, are you? And he was like, no, I'm not gay. But I think maybe I just made him clam up, and he got nervous then. But for some reason, gay dudes love hitting on me. It's not a thing that I'm afraid to talk about. But yeah, and ended up meeting a group of girls and hung out with them and some of their friends. And it was a late night because by the time I looked down, it was like 2 a.m. And I was just
Oh
like,
my gosh.
oh, dude, I was out.
Wow.
I was out. Like, and and I'll stop talking so much in a second, but I mean, it was just a great Saturday because like that morning we had DBAP, which is like a men's Bible study group that we made, about almost 2 years ago now. Jeez.
Almost. Yep.
Wow. And I went from there to like back to my place, made some food, like watched Love on the Spectrum for like 2 hours. And then I hit that point on the couch where your eyes are like falling. You're just like, I can't be this lazy all day. Like I've been on this couch way too long for a Saturday. So I was like, I need to go out and do something. So as I do, I just go out to one place and see where the night takes me. And my gosh, did that night escalate quickly.
Take you.
Yeah, it was a good time.
Took you.
So last night was a lot of fun. I had a really good time.
Nice.
I'm having to get used to this because I know that, I'm just going to be alone for the rest of my life, and I have to, be okay with that.
That's not a dark perspective.
Someone called me a pessimist.
Oh my gosh.
But
yeah, that sounds like a wild night.
It was definitely a wild night. And I'm just, man, I wish I could go back. So much fun. And it's the best part? Go on.
No, go ahead. Yeah. I was going to do a separate tangent.
Please don't interrupt me.
By the way, I'm going to change the whole subject now. Just kidding.
I love not having to worry about anyone else when you're out. Like like when you're with a group of people, obviously your group of people is going to, it's going to affect how much fun you can have. But there's a certain level at which you can't get any more fun. The group can only be so big. You can only talk to so many people. And the more people you add, it then starts to have an inverse relationship because the more opinions that get mixed into the boiling pot of what's happening tonight, it just gets like worse and worse. And this person wants to do this and they want to go here. This person doesn't want to do that. And it's just like, I love just being by myself and being like, if I want to go home, I can go home. If I don't want to talk to anyone in this bar, I don't have to. If I completely mess up and make a fool of myself, guess what? The only people here are going to know the people here. I love it.
And me. I'll know.
I do tell you. I tell you.
Yeah. 100%. I forgot what I was going to say now.
It's because what I said was so interesting and invigorating that it just,
Oh, I remember. When you said, I wish I could go back. Funny, when we were at church today, and you had that cologne on. So audience, there's a very specific cologne that will date us to, what were we, like seniors in high school? Seniors in high school?
Yeah.
Juniors, yeah. So the extent of our time hanging out at the time, Keegan used to live in a completely different state. I know we've alluded to that in other episodes. And he was in one weekend, and our extent of hanging out would be he would get in early Saturday morning, sometimes maybe Friday night, and we'd either play video games, depending on if it was, if he got in Friday night, hang out, go to bed. Early next morning, we would get up, play some games, and then get in my car, and we would just go drive around, play music. We would go to Walmart to buy energy drinks. We would drive around a little shopping area that is just legendary looking back at. And we were really cool, really, really cool back then. Just drive around aimlessly. And then we would just decide to split off, walk around the mall, do all kinds of just random stuff. And there was one weekend we ended up at the mall and came across, one of these little vendors in the middle, the little kiosk people in the middle of the walking ways of a mall, and talked to them. And we ended up haggling over realistically a $30 probably bottle of cologne.
She was also gorgeous though.
Yeah. It was like, can you do $25? It's just like realistically. And we ended up lowering the price, and we thought like, yeah, that's right.
We got him.
We did that. We got him.
Well, the other part is like, we're acting as if like haggling at the mall is a thing. We're acting as if prices are not already set. at what they're going to be sold for. It's not like a bartering market like in, Saudi Arabia or something where everyone's, no, this and that, or like downtown New York. Have you?
But for some reason, we treated it that way.
Yeah.
But real quick, before I forget, we ended up buying this cologne, and it became just throughout the years, it lasted forever and ever and ever. It actually, that same bottle still exists today. Keegan now has it.
That was
so we kind of passed it on. Keegan now has it. And then he wore it to church this morning. And I smelled it as soon as he came and sat down. And I was like, I just got mentally transported to like 13, 14 years ago. It was insane.
I'm just glad.
So talk about going back. That took me back aggressively.
I'm just glad that I did not smell like cigars. That was like my biggest fear this morning. I was like, gosh, I don't want to be that guy that like smells like last night. If I would have worn this sweatshirt, 100%, everyone would have thought that I had just smoked a fat cigarette, like in the lobby, essentially. But we did the cigar. We had some good cigars too, and this girl wanted to smoke when she was like, "I'll buy you a cigar." I was like, "Cool." What are you trying to put in my drink? Quit it. And yeah, smoked a cigar, and then that made this morning need a little bit of Cologne because I put on too much, without a doubt.
Dude, I think it was just perfect because as soon as I smelled it, it was enough. Because I know, like at this point, there's hardly got to be any left, right?
There's bottle. Like this much left.
I mean, just the tiny bit. But the fact that it's lasted 13, 14 years, and literally that is literally a piece of history that you could dig up from a time capsule that you could date and be like, this existed during this time and all this stuff happened around it. It was insane. So just the fact that's still a thing, the same exact bottle is in one of our possessions.
Yeah.
And that smell takes us back. Oh my gosh, dude. That was pretty wild. Yeah,
it was definitely a blast from the past throwing that on and putting it on. I reminded myself why I never wear cologne, because cologne just like gives me the most massive headache in the world.
Yeah,
just all that smell just constantly coming in your nose. It's like huffing paint, which I've never done.
Yeah, you've done glue though, right?
I mean, everyone does glue.
Oh man,
do you have that? Yeah, do you still have that glue stick I got you for Christmas?
No.
What'd you do with it?
What do you think?
You snipped it all.
All of it.
Snipped it dry.
Just kidding. Dude, I was going to say, speaking of Florida, man, can you believe in about almost a month here in 3 days, we will be flying to the beach?
Yep. Oh man, I went to Destin too. That happened. I did go to the beach.
Yeah, you got a sneak peek before.
It really felt like so we go to Florida every year together as a married couple, and we get a lot of discounts that way.
And then my family goes too, but we treat them.
Yes, we pay for them to be there. But
totally.
Yeah, my brother lives down in where is it? Fort Walton now. He works on AC 130s, which is pretty cool. And dude, a little side tangent after this, but dude, Destin was again, when I'm alone and when I'm doing my own thing, like just stuff happens to me. Like I took an Uber to downtown Fort Walton, and because I was like, I'm gonna go see what's going on and if there's anything fun in downtown. And my Uber driver was just like, Fort Walton's horrible. Everyone goes to Destin. So we're sitting there in downtown Fort Walton, which is really not much of a downtown. I was like, how far up the road is Destin? She was like 20 minutes, 15 maybe. And I was like, take me to Destin right now. Went to freaking Destin, and she just goes, I think I'm going to stop driving Uber for the day and just have some drinks with you. And I was like, you're very assumptive, but okay. And she drove me around the rest of the day. We hung out, went to a couple bars. It was just like a super cool thing. But yeah, when you're in a place you go to vacation and you're there for not a vacation, but still kind of, it feels like you're like breaking rules. You're like, oh, I'm not supposed to be here right now. You broke the matrix. I did. But yeah, that was super cool. And I was going to say, dude, for the AC 130, apparently you're allowed and you'll have full access to mission footage. Like you can just go watch, the mission footage of when they fly over a target and just destroy it.
Really?
Yeah. And I was like,
Like
because
just on YouTube, or is it a specific
no, like
portal that
for
you go?
that, no, I'm not saying us. I'm saying the people who work on the
Oh,
AC-130.
I
You
thought you were
can go
speaking generally. I
watch.
was like, dang.
You can go watch past mission footage from overseas where they're just. I was like, "What's it like?" He was like, "It's exactly like the video games." he was.
I,
He was like, "It looks the exact same."
nice.
Speaking of blowing stuff up, did you see that? I thought this was so crazy. So like, America needs someone to
That
bomb. We get really antsy if we don't, start dropping some explosions and, messing something up in the world. And the Houthis just decided to step into that and just be like, hey, I'll be your huckleberry. Okay, quick note, they don't say
yep.
huckleberry.
Yep.
It's actually a huckle is the handle on a casket. So when someone is your huckle bearer, they're one of the people burying your casket and carrying it to the grave. So they don't say I'll be your huckleberry, they say I'll be your huckle bearer. And then over the years it's gotten mixed up with huckleberry.
Shout out Tombstone, Doc Holliday, Val Kilmer, rest in peace.
100%. But Trump, I just love that he released footage of like, and you know what the Houthis were doing? They were planning another attack, and they were all standing there in this big circle, and then it just goes, like everything's gone.
Yep.
I'm like, the only thing that is not very satisfying about that is like no one is like around to like realize it happened. You know what I mean? They're just all
Yep.
eviscerated. I wish there was just one dude who would be like, "Oh, this sucks."
Shouldn't have done that.
Yeah, you guys thinking that like
It's just my mind just is continually blown, like with the Houthis now, but then also dealing with, I mean, just looking back at ISIS and looking at Hamas, with everything that they're currently doing, they cannot match. They're not pound for pound remotely close to going toe to toe with us. But yet they sit there and antagonize the United States and say all this stuff. They send threats over. It's like, what do you expect is going to happen? Honestly, like, what form of strategic thought do you think it would be beneficial to sit there and threaten the United States? I mean, because you think you're going to win? Absolutely not. So I'm just wondering, to be a fly on the wall on some of these inner meetings with the leaders of the Houthis or Hamas, and you're like, all right, guys, yes, we're going to do this. This will get them. Do they not understand? Clearly not, because they keep doing it.
there has
But
to
like, in
be going.
what realm or what universe would they remotely think they could go toe to toe?
Well, there has to be one dude in every meeting that goes like, "Hey guys,
It's not a good idea.
I don't think we're gonna make it out of this. I think that we're very outmatched." And then they probably kill that guy because he's a non-believer. And
True. I would not be shocked, honestly.
there's like, all right, any countervailing or countering opinions outside of that one? Cool, let's go attack.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's crazy because really the only thing that can actually drive that is religion. That's the only thing that can make a idea that illogical seem logical or have any type of purpose at all.
Yeah. I mean, it has to be at that point, because outside of that, it makes no sense.
Yeah. Or like when going.
No, go ahead and keep talking. I'm looking something up to confirm a point.
I was gonna say that, like when is it who are the pirates? Somalian pirates. And they try to like take like a vessel, a shipping vessel or something like that, and it's just like like you have to be thinking about like there's no way we're getting out of this. Well, I mean, they've probably done it before and gotten people, but in terms of or gotten away, but yeah, it's just there's no logic that goes into there. So the Houthis, Somalian pirates, they need to rethink their life decisions.
100%. I was talking with someone the other day. I'm trying to find it exactly, but these Muslim compounds that are starting to pop up all over in Texas. And it's gotten to the point, so they're basically saying the most prominent cases, they're calling it Epic City, a planned 402-acre development near Josephine, Texas, about 40 miles northeast of Dallas. Announced in early 2024 by the East Plano Islamic Center, it aims to create a mixed-use community with over 1,000 homes, a mosque, a K through 12th faith-based school, retail shops, senior housing, and other amenities. Epic's resident scholar, Yasir Kadi, has described it as a well-integrated Muslim neighborhood meant to serve a growing Muslim population in North Texas, open to all backgrounds and compliant with U.S. laws. However, it sparked significant backlash. Texas Governor Greg Abbott has fiercely opposed it, claiming it implies Sharia cities or no-go zones, which he says are illegal under Texas law. Since February 2025, he's launched multiple investigations into Epic, alleging violations like fair housing discrimination, securities fraud, unlicensed funeral operations, etc. Texas Rangers actually got involved and were tasked with a criminal probe on March 31st, though no specific charges have been detailed publicly, at least. Local residents at a Collin County Commissioner Court meeting on April 1st voiced fears about cultural clashes, Sharia law, and infrastructure strain. But like just the fact that they are talking, creating compounds that will more than likely contain Sharia law in the state of Texas. I mean, that's pretty crazy stuff.
It's not unexpected though. And not that
it's not.
But I mean, it's like, it's, hey, listen, man, I'll give it to them. They've got a lot of tenacity. They really do. They're not afraid to try to go to another country and like make it into exactly what their country is. No more comment. But on that, yeah, I'm not a fan of imposing Sharia law or places that are governed by Sharia law, just because it is such a slippery slope. And listen, man, I'm a Christian. I think, to be fair to everyone, like, we shouldn't be, we shouldn't make the 10 Commandments law. I mean, you can't kill people, and you probably shouldn't cheat on people, and you probably should also not steal.
Kill the infidel.
Yeah. That one is a little bit that one's easy to kind of see where that could go wrong.
Just a tad bit.
Just a little
surface level. Just a little peek. Just a little peek.
But yeah, that's I didn't know that. When and where is that happening?
That, from what it said, the Epic City, from what they're claiming it, is a 402-acre development near Josephine, Texas, about 40 miles northeast of Dallas. Yeah, and it was announced early last year by the East Plano Islamic Center. Over 1,000, so it's, I mean, a legitimate just ecosystem of homes, a mosque, schools, other amenities, just northeast of Dallas.
Yeah,
it's
man.
like I get that, man, but like the whole purpose of America is to come in to assimilate, like not to create more miniature versions of places where you came from.
Yeah,
like we're an ecosystem and a symbiotic relationship of all different cultures, people, races, beliefs, etc. Don't come over here and start setting up your own individual compounds, because that's not what America is.
Yeah, I think culture definitely needs to be preserved. Culture needs to be respected. And it's just crazy to me that if I tried to go anywhere, any other country, and set up a little version of America,
good luck.
Yeah, you'd be met with some really abrasive people, and people don't want you coming in and changing their culture. And it's just, in terms of creating a compound where Sharia law rules, that means you would have to have police in that compound to enforce Sharia law. So I just don't think that that's I don't think that should be legal. And I also think that anywhere, listen, at the end of the day, and this might be an uncomfortable topic for some, but it's true. There's verses in the Quran that I've personally read that can be very, I mean, if not, it's almost as if you couldn't interpret them any other way. But it's like, it's very open to leaning towards a bad interpretation of it if you're someone who claims it can be interpreted differently. And if you make a little Saudi Arabia right in the middle of Texas, like that person says, cultural clash, I mean, it only takes one fanatic to take it to the next level and be like, we need to make everything like this and go do something crazy. It's just, yeah, I don't think that should be allowed. That's not you shouldn't be able to set up a country within a state.
No, not at all. And Texas law, it makes it completely illegal. But according to the higher ups that are leading this project on the Muslim side, Yasir Qadi, says basically, no, it's all in compliance with U.S. law. And that's really interesting. I just picked up on that. He said it's all in compliance with U.S. law, but Texas has its own laws. I'm pretty sure within the last couple of years, Greg Abbott banned Sharia law in the state of Texas.
Yeah.
So if he's saying it's going in accordance with U.S. law, I would assume, I don't know. I don't know for sure, but the fact that he didn't specifically say Texas law as well, that makes me question even more.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's one of those things where they're probably going to appeal to federal law and try to say it's in compliance with that. And it's just going to be a clash of, those two things, federal versus state. Just like how when they decriminalized marijuana in Dallas County, there's a lawyer. I think this is just his shtick. Any place they decriminalize marijuana in Texas, he goes and sues the city.
Yeah.
But he loses like 90% of the cases. I don't think even in terms of winning, I don't think there's been anything that's been reversed. But that's just like such a, in my opinion, like, I know we're kind of getting off the topic of Sharia law, which is my favorite, but like, if a city decides that they want to decriminalize something like that, and there's an overall net benefit, and less people go to jail, and there's less tax dollars are paid towards something like that, I just don't get someone just coming in and being like, no, I'm gonna make you guys follow the federal government. And I get it to a certain extent, but it's just like that's just seems like too much for the sake of just doing it. It's like, what's the real goal here? Just like, you want to keep funding private prisons and putting a bunch of people in jail, year after year, that end up taking up money, and a lot of money from the state. I mean, taking up money and resources from the state. It's just, you got to be a real party pooper to be that guy, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. And let me make a quick correction before we probably bounce to a new topic. But Sharia law technically isn't illegal in Texas or the U.S. as a personal belief or private practice. Muslims can live by it spiritually or culturally like any faith, but it's effectively illegal to enforce it as a public legal system or in ways that clash with Texas law.
Yeah. I mean, that's exactly what, they're doing.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I will say that's like they are headstrong. Once they start doing something, they don't stop, and they will. Oh man, I love watching, you guys have heard me say this, I love watching Christianity and Islamic debates. I just, it's the only other religion that, like, they're one of their biggest shticks is making sure people think Christianity is wrong. Like, there's no other religion that, like, has so much of a crux of the religion being that, like, you have to believe Christianity is wrong. It's completely wrong. They'll like lead with that before telling you anything about Islam. And I mean, I will 100% say that if more Christians started acting like Islamic faith-filled people and treating their daily Christian walk the same, Christianity would look very different. It'd look amazing. It would have a lot more momentum behind it. And
it's like too what our pastor talked about at church today, just American church.
Yeah.
People are comfortable. It's just like, it's raining. We don't have to go to church. Let's stay in.
Yeah.
Oh, it's too cold. Let's not go. There's no emphasis behind it.
Yeah. Yeah, they take it to like their devotion is something that's like very admirable. And speaking of the person that I had the debate with when I was in downtown Dallas walking my dog around, he was a great guy, super nice. We ended on really good terms. He was like, I wish more Christians acted like you. And I was like, I wish more, people of your faith acted like you, because he was just very nice to me.
Yeah.
But we'll argue for the sake of arguing. Like there's no winning that conversation in any way, shape, or form. Any point,
Yeah.
even if you make an amazing point, it's like immediately under the rug and back to, them trying to, it's just
Say
like
why
an
you're wrong.
argument with anyone, but it's 100% like one of the most frustrating arguments I've ever had in my life.
Gosh.
There's just not a lot of logic.
Yeah. Can only imagine.
I mean, don't imagine. Just go downtown to downtown Dallas. You can find probably the same people.
I could. I think Dallas is better than Fort Worth anyway.
That's a unpopular opinion, but not all opinions are popular. I lived in Dallas
Kidding.
for 5.5 years, right at 6 years, and yeah, I'm a big Fort Worth guy now. I love Fort Worth.
He's a Fort Worth guy, huh?
I'm a Fort Worth guy. I'm just kind of one of those Fort Worth guys,
Just one of those guys. Yeah, man. It's just interesting. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. I mean, just here in the next couple of years with everything going on. I mean, obviously, I think we're under. Not, I think. I believe we're under a way better administration that's taking care of a lot of different things and handling them in a way better manner than we experienced for the last 4 years. And I'm curious to see, even just in the next like 6 months to 12 months, what the whole landscape of the U.S. is going to look like. Not only like economically, because right now, I'm not going to lie, it's a little bit of a struggle. And we're going to go through some pain before it gets better, just with the tariffs and how the current state of the economy and the market is going right now. But things are they will level out once things actually start to go into effect.
Yeah.
And other countries start to actually reciprocate and do what they're supposed to do.
Who was it? Japan said they were going to invest like $1 trillion in the U.S.
I think that was
Japan.
Saudi Arabia.
It was Japan.
Japan. There was a Japanese bank that was investing $5 billion here. But then the Crown Prince also, I think, had a phone call with Trump.
Yeah.
And he's like, okay, yeah, we'll invest a solid bit of money. I think the $1 trillion in the U.S.
I think Japan also committed $1 trillion. But I mean, that's the type of stuff I'm excited for.
Yeah.
Give me that Japanese money, boy.
Some development in the U.S.
Yeah. I mean,
it's about time.
Right?
It's about time. Like the whole thing, man, back in the day when we actually made money by tariff, and then all of a sudden when all that changed and we started paying income tax, federal income tax, and we started getting away from tariffs and all that stuff, that's when we dug ourselves in the massive hole.
Mm-hmm. I don't think we'll ever be able to get out.
I think we'll make some progress to make it not as bad. But yeah, it's a massive, massive hole to come out of.
Yeah. And we've just been digging it deeper and deeper and deeper. I mean, for as long as we can think. And yeah, I mean, dude, apparently 2027 is supposed to be like when everything goes to real crap. So I don't think we have.
In what way?
Like the end of the world type stuff.
Oh, really?
Okay, so I saw this on a
conspiracy.
I saw this on a podcast. And it is like a conspiracy podcast, but we'll go with it. There is a conspiracy that, so in the Vatican, there's something called the Book of the Popes, and it has apparently predicted every single pope up until the current one. And there's only one more pope left. And then it just says,
it ends.
Yeah, it's done after that. In terms of like the end of the world. And if you go to the Vatican has all of the popes in historical order in this room, all of their faces, and it goes all the way to the current one. And then there's only one space left. And it stops.
Dude.
And they pre-built that. they pre-built that. They knew how many spaces it needed.
That, oh my gosh, dude, we could go down a rabbit hole with that, with the Catholic Church. And, well, I mean, the Pope specifically, but it was really interesting going back to when the Roman Empire was, at its semi super strength, that Constantine, during that time as the Christians were on the rise, and then they were kind of, I think, kicked out of Rome. And then as they were growing, I think they came back. Constantine got involved. Constantine, made Christianity like legal. It wasn't illegal at the time anymore, so he made it legal, blah, blah, blah. But then as the transition happened, as the Roman Empire slowly phased out or got destroyed or collapsed, quote unquote, that I was listening to I think it was another conspiracy podcast. Like, some dude said that the Catholic Church is just the modern day Roman Empire, that it never actually collapsed, that it just transformed into something else.
Well, it did, I mean, in terms of like whether you want to call it that or not, it did. That is the only thing that was extremely relevant with the Roman Empire that is still around today. There's no massive, there's the city of Rome is just, it's not the world power anymore, obviously, but in terms of, it would make sense that that's what it got absorbed into.
Yeah. Well, and just the fact that the Vatican City is its own independent country, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's
crazy.
Really interesting. I would just love to know what is buried in the catacombs beneath Vatican City.
You know what I would love?
What does the Catholic Church have?
I think it's about dang time to start some invasions and go invade another country and just, be like, hey, we found oil or something like that, and just invade Vatican City. And I mean, they have no army. We could take the Vatican by force and just show everyone what's down there.
Dude, that reminds me, it's like the same thing with Fort Knox. Is it Fort Knox?
Yeah.
Where all the gold is that Elon's wanting to go take a camera crew in and be like, where's the gold? Let's see. I wish they would do that so
Are they not going
to
do it?
I don't know if it's official. I know Elon wanted to do it, but I don't know if that's something that
Trump
can actually
do it.
Well, Trump and Elon, or Elon and Trump, or either way, it was being loosely talked about as an actual potential event that was going to happen, but I don't know if there's any steam to it.
Yeah. That'd be pretty, I mean, imagine going in there and the gold is actually gone.
Where did it go?
Someone has it.
I think Nicolas Cage in National Treasure, he found it and he took it.
What if we it was really, it was gone, and then we were like, can you help us, Nicolas Cage? He's like, you realize I'm just an actor. And they're like, well, you have the most experience in these situations, so we're going to lean on you.
Yes. You are as close as we can possibly get.
Yeah.
Yeah, Elon Musk says Fort Knox gold reserve should be live streamed. And this was just, I think, a couple days ago.
Not going to be there.
I would not be shocked, man. It's like Area 51. There's so much probably stigma around it that, you've had people talking about, we're going to raid Area 51. We're going to find the aliens. It's like, you really think at this point that we wouldn't have another facility that is way more top secret than Area 51 where all this stuff exists?
Area 51 is almost like a decoy, because it's just
legitimately, it's the perfect decoy.
Well, I wouldn't say decoy, but it's kind of like
a scapegoat.
Yeah, exactly. It's a place that they can still utilize pretty well, but everyone knows about it. Everyone's heard rumors about it. Everyone knows generally what it's for. It's for testing different types of, top secret airplanes or weapons or, things like that. And it's one of those things that, like, the more you know about it, the less they're going to actually invest things they want to hide there. Because, like, that's the most, like, that's the red flag for the bold. Everyone look at this. Oh, there might be this here. Remember freaking Bob Lazar talking about S4, which was built into the side of a mountain and looks like a mountain, and the doors open up and they look as if the mountain is opening. I mean,
Yep.
you don't.
Literally, that was Independence Day.
Yeah, and you don't.
To a T.
And you don't. Whatever you want to say about that, you can say, but that's a real thing. Like and not even on a lesser level. Like my dad and both of my dads, they're both remarried. They're not gay. Um, they both know where certain ammo dumps in the U.S. are in case there was ever like a fallout event. The military has those tucked away in mountains, and they're built into the side of mountains, like exactly like that. They're camouflaged and everything. So if you think that like stuff like that is the only reason they're going to do it, I'm sorry, sir, you're wrong. You're wrong. How does it feel? You're wrong.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I would just, golly, I want to know all of the crazy stuff that goes on behind the scenes that people have access to with top secret security clearances. Like, how cool would that be? Just being like, oh, yeah, this is my everyday normal job, knowing all of this information, having full access to it, full knowing that 99.9999999% of people out there have no idea what's going on.
Yeah. I mean,
how insane would that be?
It'd be a pretty big, it'd be, I'd be the worst person to tell. I'd freaking, like, I'd talk about it.
He'd be live streaming it on Instagram.
My alien bro, they're real. And then I die of suicide with 2 headshots.
It's perfectly plausible.
Isn't that crazy? So like, who was it? It was a guy that invented something or something like that. Long story short, I think
it was the JFK dude who was a CIA guy.
Yeah.
He 6 months after that knew what happened, and he was found killed or suicide, but it was, I think, 2 gunshot wounds.
Yeah, that's so crazy that like that is like a thing that like we just accept. We're just like, oh no, we know it's physically impossible for someone to commit suicide and shoot themselves twice. But we're just not gonna we're just going to let it be the statement that it is and just not touch it. That's crazy to me. That like that is sitting out there. And I want to be like, okay, everyone stop. Everyone stop. Everything we're doing, no matter what it is, Israel, Hamas, Ukraine, everyone stop. Can we just, as a country, focus on this right now? Can we just all look at this and go, obviously, let's look at each other. Obviously, the man cannot shoot himself twice. So obviously wasn't a suicide. Can we like clear this up? It's just crazy to me that things that are like, it's just such a slap in the face. Things that are that obvious and they're just like, yeah, it was suicide.
I think though the good thing is, and especially since COVID, I don't want to say all of America, most of Americans that are waking up and that have been awake, are starting to question stuff like that, like stuff that should always be questioned. You know, we're having more and more people start to get to that point of like, that doesn't make any sense, and they're starting to raise their voices and make a stink about it, being like, what the heck's the deal? And now that we have someone, i.e. Elon, up there in Doge, you know, asking questions and getting answers, it's stirring the hornet's nest big time. They're poking the hornet's nest.
Yeah, man. It's I mean, what if Elon Musk died?
Dude, he's legitimately afraid.
He's too big.
That Rogan episode.
He's too big.
Yeah. Well, thought the same for Trump, but they almost killed him.
He didn't die. Man, that was, can you believe that's not even like, even in the realm of thought anymore? It's just like,
nope. Twice. Almost twice.
It's just, the fact we lived through that was probably one of the craziest things ever. I just remember, dude, I was sitting in a bar in San Antonio and I just was watching the TV and all of a sudden you see him go, you know, like get down and drops down and whatnot. And it's just like, I was watching that live. Like I watched history happen like live. It was insane.
Yeah.
And then to watch loud noises heard at Trump's rally, popping sound heard at Trump's rally. Trump, and it's like no one would go
incident happened.
Yeah, and no one would go possible assassination attempt at Trump's rally. And I was just like,
They wouldn't
did
even
you know
call it,
what's the crazy thing? If we want to go even further in conspiracies, that was the only live air CNN ever did of a Trump rally.
It's pretty sketchy. Really sketchy.
Like, why do they want to show up to a random rally in Pennsylvania and what? Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Too many things. That's another one of those things where it's just like in your face, and it's like, oh, we're just going to accept this.
Yeah, it's pretty evident. Well, it's like, too, I mean, how many times have we seen knowing how powerful the media is, but at the same time, the false narratives that are constantly put out by modern news that, like, to a T, you could bounce from MSNBC, CNN, NBC, MSNBC, all the different networks, and how all the different news anchors say the exact same thing.
Yeah, and putting it all
did
side
you see
by
that
side,
compilation?
Yeah. Well, it's happened so many times.
And that's like, you have to ask yourself, there's no possible way that is not coordinated.
Well, I just wonder who it's coming from. Who's the person that gives all of these news stations the story and the script and tells them, this is what you say? Like, where does that get decided? That's crazy.
Yeah. I know at least money-wise and influence and spending, George Soros is heavily behind all that stuff. But I'm sure there's some equal forces at his level that are just as responsible, obviously, of the media.
But not even just that, where is where's the meeting that takes place where they're like, all right, this is what the news is going to be.
Yeah.
And then that gets given out to like where's the head of the snake? I know it's like potentially him and other people that it's obvious people, but it's like, who is the person that drops that off? Like, how does that happen? I would just be so interested to know, like, what is the communication method of like, here's the news. This is what we are going to, this is how we're going to spin it. This is what we're going to say.
Yeah. Again, I would love to know, but I hope we do find out eventually, but I would not be shocked if we don't.
Careful what you wish for.
Yeah, I know. I'll just stay tuned and sit and eat my popcorn in front of this fascinating movie we're literally living in.
We do live in kind of a clown world.
It's pretty crazy.
It is, 100%.
But we're in Texas, and we're cool, and it's fine. And we're going to Florida.
Yep.
It's all good, man. It's all good.
Going to the second most free state in the nation.
Yes. We're number one.
Yes.
We're better than everybody else.
Everything.
There's only one Lone Star state. Just saying.
Everything inland Florida is horrible.
I can't say I've legit ever been to inland Florida, but it doesn't sound like it would make me realize, like, why am I here? I need to move to the coast.
Yeah. I mean, it gets, and dude, my brother was like, dude, these houses are really expensive. These are like $400,000. And I was like, that's it?
What?
I was like, 400 grand? That's it?
No way.
Yeah. That's like, but no, dude, you can get a decent home in Florida for like, what, in the $250,000. They go like hotcakes, they go off the market as soon as they're on, but you can, Florida's got a great economy right now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. They're benefiting from it massively.
Let's have a vacation home there. Let's buy a $400,000 house and we'll share it.
I mean, hey man. Yes, 100%. Sign me up.
We got some lofty goals. This might be the loftiest one we've had.
Yes. It's going to be no women allowed, only guys.
Oh my gosh.
It's our adult fort.
Yeah, legitimately.
Yeah.
My fort.
That's essentially what a home is.
An expensive one. It's an expensive fort.
You built the ultimate of forts, but I know what you're about to do. Yeah, we're about to wrap this one up. It has been, sorry for the hiatus again. And we'll be back on our consistency here this week. But hope you guys enjoyed this episode. As always, click, subscribe, like, share it, what all those things people in this position say. And yeah, we love every one of you, and we appreciate you listening. You filthy animal.
Yeah. Pretty much. That was my ending. So
yeah,
hope you guys liked it.
Leave them on a cliffhanger.
Enjoy episode 25, guys. Thank you for all that have tuned in and listened and been part of this journey so far. It's crazy to think 25 episodes. It's a big deal. It's a big deal, and we're thankful and we're excited for future episodes and some exciting new content and things on the horizon that we'll talk about. Some fun swag that is almost done. But yeah, all kinds of good stuff. We look forward to sharing it with you guys and share it with people. We couldn't be here without you, and love you guys, and we shall catch you on episode 26.
Deuces.
See you guys.